Good morning, this is Carrie with Southern Sass Vinyl. I had a request to show my startup process every morning. So here it is. Alright, so here is how my printer is whenever I leave it at night. I have my little paper towels in here and they're coated with cleaning solution. My paper towel with cleaning solution, I do clip it to the cart so that way I can pull it tight up against the print head and leave it overnight, and then my paper towel over my capping station. So I do have an external waste tank. Okay, so the very first thing that I do in the morning is to reset my waste tank, and this is just my morning process. That way I never have to worry that I get to the end of that end of the service life and it won't reset or the printer won't take it because I waited too long. So if I just go ahead and do it, oops. Let's see, I got it. There it goes. Once it turns green, you're good to go. Put it back in and it'll be set to empty again. So that's the very first thing I do. Okay, so the next thing I do, and my printer is unplugged. I unplug it every night. Okay, so the next thing that I do, tilt you down, get my little paper towels here, is that I test my ink carts, and I do this every single morning because even though I just used these ink carts yesterday and they all worked fine, sometimes you just come in and an ink cart for some reason just goes bad overnight. Okay, so I just take each ink cart, press it like a stamp. If it does like that and it's a perfect square, then your ink cart is good. And I will do this with every single one of these. So I'm going to pause you while I do that so that y'all aren't just sitting through watching me do this. Okay, so I've tested all my ink carts. Here they are. I actually just replaced my magenta yesterday. So if you can see on the white, this one right here did perfect. But if you look at this one, you see all the space where it didn't lay down ink. So that means that the sponge in this cart is starting to go bad. So I probably have another day or two before it needs to be replaced. And it was this one right here. And you can, like I said, you can always tell. Actually, that one did pretty good. So maybe I just did a bad press. But I'm going to try to show you. I'm going to use a colored one. So if you press it down and it kind of looks like that, or I'm trying to get, well, like that. This is, like I said, it's a brand new ink cart, so I'm not going to get a bad print with it. But if you get something that looks like this, where ink isn't over the whole sponge, and if you have never looked at the bottom of your cart, that right there is the entire sponge. Okay, so if you get one and it doesn't do the whole press, let me see, I'm positive I've got one that, let's see, nope, I don't know. Okay, all of my carts are good. I just replaced most of them, so, but you get the drift. If you press it down and it kind of looks like that, or it's not laying down the full rectangle of ink, you probably need to replace your cart because that means it's going bad. Okay, so let me push all my, oh yeah, so this right here is my handy dandy supply cart. Up here is that's my cleaning carts, spare carts, my chip readers, my cleaners, extra ink carts. I use these when I set up new printers. These are my fluorescents. Here's all my inks, paper towel, cleaner, all my syringes, more cleaning swabs. And then on the bottom This is all my sublimation stuff. It's the same thing, all my inks, cleaners, carts, etc. It's kind of ugly. I mean, unless you really like the John Deere look with the green and the yellow. But it was really cheap on Amazon. I think I paid 14 bucks for it and got it here in 2 days, so it was worth it. Alright, so let me move that. And you do put this down because the ink will go through your paper. Throw that over there. Alright, so get you up here. Oops. Let's see if I can try to move you around. Turn that off. That is my air purifier that I have right next to my curing stove. Hopefully, let's see. Move all this. Okay. So we have everything in here. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to move this. That was, that's over my capping station. I'm going to take bare minimum of cleaning solution. Like, I'm talking, there's nothing, it's basically the residue in the cup. And I'm going to clean the side of it. Because it's been sitting there all night long with that cleaning solution on it. So all of this should be nice and soft and ready to come off. Basically, you soaked it. And I do this every single morning. Just get everything off. And sorry if I'm a little slow and sound a little draggy this morning. My caffeine has not quite kicked in yet. I'm not a coffee person. I actually like the V8 energy mixed with some pineapple juice, and that is my morning hit of caffeine. Okay, so I got most of the stuff off the sides of the capping station, which is what I wanted. Okay, throwing that one away, getting a fresh one. And these are just 2 little clips. You can use, what are those things called that you hang laundry with? Laundry pins. But these are, they actually hang. And so I like them, and I just set them in my cart. Ready, that way they're ready to go. Okay, we're going to go ahead and do a little shoe shine. As you can see, I am not pulling hard. Not putting a lot of pressure. You see how much is on it. Alright, but we're going to leave that down in there until we're done with this. We're going to take all of these out. And you see all that white? So when I closed my machine down last night, all of that white was gone. So when you leave those little paper towels in there with the cleaning solution, what it does is it actually wicks more ink through those screens, and so it gets it off, it cleans the screens, which is a good job. That's what you, I mean, that's what you want it to do. I'm just getting more cleaning solution, pouring it in my cup for the day. So this right here is, this is my cup of cleaner. I put it in this little, this is tape, and I set it in there so it's not quite so easy to dump over. And I have this sitting on my desk at all times. That way, whenever I need it, it is there and handy. Okay, so let me get y'all set back right there. All right. Okay, so if you look down, like I said, you can see the white that it pulled out last night. This is a completely dry sponge. I'm just going to, because remember, you just took the damp paper towels out. And I'm just going to wipe. I'm not going to go over the screen. I'm just wiping around the base where the carts, I'm sorry, where the base of the carts sit, but not wiping a dry sponge over the screens. Okay, and this just gets any remaining ink that your cleaning towels that you left in there overnight. It just gets whatever was left. Okay, so now I'm going to come back and I'm going to just barely get any cleaning solution onto my sponge. And now I'm going to come over and I'm just going to very lightly go over the screens. And this will just get anything that was left on the screens. It's actually it's clean, so excuse me, there wasn't a whole lot in there. All right, so we're going to kind of move this over. We're going to shoe shine one more time and pull it out. And so you see what it catches, what it pulls out of the print head overnight. And this is why you do that. It removes, I don't know if the camera's going to pick that up, but all of that, that's all dried ink that was stuck to the bottom of the print head. And you throw it away. All right. Put this back in place, and we're going to go ahead and add our cartridges. Let me tilt y'all up. I'll leave all the plugs in. And one thing I forgot to do, ignore me putting them in. Sorry, I told y'all my caffeine has not kicked in this morning. So the next thing that I do after I've cleaned all that I now have to clean again because I had a blonde moment, is actually I'm going to check the ink levels in my cartridges. I do that every morning before I put them in, even though you just saw me put them in without checking them. Like I said, lack of caffeine is not kicked in. So I'll just quickly clean those. I don't ever leave exposed ink in there to dry, because that's just kind of asking for a clog. So I'm just going to go ahead and put some paper towels down. Stuff them in there. Cleaning solution in my syringe. Okay. I'm not jabbing. I'm just kind of lightly tapping around where the screen would be, just to make sure that the paper towel is down in there. Okay, so I'm just going to let that sit while I check my carts. Okay. Oh, sorry. Okay. Paper towel. And I always start with my white. Ugh. Okay, so just looking at this cart, even before you take out the plugs, you can see that it needs ink. Okay, and then once you, hang on, I'm gonna try something, and hopefully this is gonna work, because I want to show y'all how the level of the ink goes out. So I'm kind of holding this, trying to balance it on my leg while I take out the plugs with one hand, which is easier said than done. All right. So as you can see, as soon as you take out the plugs, the ink level goes way down, and that's because you're releasing the pressure, the air pressure, and so it's going to go down and it's going to soak into this sponge. So by now I know y'all already know how to fill your your ink carts, so I'm not going to film that. I'm just going to pause y'all and fill my ink carts, and then I'll be back. Okay, so I've got all of my carts filled. Quick pro tip: if you're like me and you get ink literally all over your hands, paper towel, dampen it with alcohol, and it comes right off. Because I literally get this stuff everywhere. In fact, some of my nails are stained yellow and black because I didn't realize I had ink all over them. What was it, like 3 days ago? And I went to go wash it all off. Wouldn't come off. I've tried alcohol. I've tried acetone. Nope. So it just looks like I have permanently dirty fingernails because I can't get ink off. That's okay. What can I say? I work with my hands. Alright, so now that we have filled our ink carts, now we can put them all in. And I do always go ahead and kind of press my carriage back over to about where it would be when you do the cartridge replacement. So here are your caps. You are of course going to go wash all these off because you do not want this ink to dry on here. So move all this out of my way. Sorry, I'm working in kind of a confined area here, and I'm going to plug in printer. I hit that. There we go. Wait, did I turn? Sure. There we go. Okay. And we're going to move you because when this thing starts up, it is going to start shaking the phone. And I am trying to move super slow so that everything's not bouncing around. Sorry. I'm trying to get this part of the screen. Okay. So of course when you start it up, because I unplugged it, you have the print head may require maintenance, da 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 da. Just hit dismiss. And then the morning startup, for some reason it doesn't normally do the initialization thing. Oh, it's because I know why. Haha. It's because I reset the waste tank. So if you come over here to settings, supply status, you'll see that the waste tank is showing like it's brand new. Okay? So I'm going to do one head cleaning. Oop. Let me pop my air caps out. Okay, and then I have a little baggie that sits right here next to this printer that I put them in, and then I seal it. So that even if I pick up the baggie by accident, I cannot spill these little things everywhere. Okay? Alright. Now that I've done that, I'm going to do one print head cleaning. Okay. While that's doing that, I'm going to bring up Photoshop on my PC. Because I don't do multiple head cleanings. Instead, I print purge page. And when you do it from Photoshop, it treats the white ink like the gray and red, which is what, you know, the printer is set up to do. Because the printer doesn't recognize that that's not gray and red ink. It doesn't recognize that that's white ink. That's why you have the RIP program. That's why you have to print through the RIP program, because it's the RIP program that basically tells the printer how to print and that is white ink. So the printer has no idea at this point that is not gray and red ink and that it's white. So when I do my purge pages, it's going to treat the gray and the red excuse me, in the purge page as gray and red. And so that way you still get white ink flowing when you do your purge page. So I'm going to pause you. This takes about 5 minutes or so for the head cleaning. I've got to wait for Photoshop to come up on my computer. That can take a while. And then I'll be back. Alright, so it's done. Doing the head clean. When it pops up that it says no check, I do no check. And the reason why is because I kind of have, I can move you, there we go. So I have my own preferred purge page that I print. Hold on one second, let me get it. I was cleaning all the caps while I was waiting for that head clean to be done. And I was waiting on Photoshop to start it because Photoshop is really slow for me when it first comes up. So let's get y'all. There you go. Alright, so here's Photoshop. This is a file. I legitimately cannot remember where I got this file from. I think I just typed in HEX Code Color Chart or something like that. Let's see if we can get closer enough to see here. HTM color codes. Okay, so if you get it, hopefully the camera's gonna pick up at least some of this. I know it doesn't pick up screens that well. Let's see here. Scoot everything so I can get you closer. Alright. So when you look at it, all of these are the hex codes in for the colors. And so I print these excuse me, with all of my printers. I do this maybe once a month just to make sure that everything's still going okay with my printers. And actually have one of these. Let me see. Let me pull it up. Okay, so I have one for my XP that says XP, that's standard. My XP fluorescent ink, my L1800 standard ink, and I actually just got a external CIS system for my L1800, and I'm going to try to run fluorescent inks in my L1800. I'm just going to change out the dampers. So we're going to see how that works. I've got some modifications I've got to do to it. So anyway, so these are the hex codes. Like I said, I got this online. There it is. HTML color codes. I legitimately, I'm sorry guys, I don't even remember specifically what the website was. Let me see. Oh, I'm trying to set y'all so y'all can see. And hopefully, let me see. That's about as good as I'm gonna get. Alright. Hex code, let's see. Right here, HTML color codes. Oh, you can't see that. Haha, my bad. So it's right here, HTML color codes. This is the website. Chart. I'm sorry, I'm trying to remember what I did. It just says jump to chart, and I put flat design, and that was not the one though that I printed. positive it wasn't this either. Let's see, does it say which one that? Material Design Color Chart. Haha, it says right there which one I did. Alright, so let me go back. So I did not do web save. I did this one right here, Material Design Color Chart. And I did full chart. Okay, so here it is. And this is all of the different colors. Anyway, you see it, and you just come up here and you can hit download, and it'll download in kind of this format. And then I just I pulled it into Photoshop, and then I it's gonna, of course it's gonna open over here now, and then I just saved it as different files. Like I said, I put XP standard ink, XP fluorescent ink, L1800 standard ink, and then for the XP, since I actually have, you see right here at the bottom where it just says it right there, since I have multiple XPs, what I do is after I print them, I write on the chart. And I'm gonna grab a chart. So we're kind of done with this. I'll come back to it. I'll show you all the chart in a minute. So anyway, it's htmlcolorcodes.com is where I got this. So I'm gonna pull this up, because you remember you got to have that bottom 2 inches. Okay, so it's there, it's good. I'm just gonna go file, print. I gotta change my printer, because the last time I did it, I did this on, and you can see all my XPs that I've got. And that's actually not even all of them. It always changes it, because on my print settings I have it automatically set to rear paper feed, so I'll always have to come in here and change it. Letter, plain paper. So for this, instead of doing standard, instead of doing high, I just leave it at standard, and I don't change anything else. I just say okay and hit print. Proceed. I'm gonna swing you back around nice and slow to the printer. This is a little bit longer video than what I had intended, but y'all got some great information. So we're gonna let that print. I'm gonna grab the color code sheet. Alright, so we're just going to give it a quick look over. Everything looks good. You're going to see these lines and stuff in it, because remember we just did standard, and it was also still on high print or high speed print or whatever, which always kind of gives you a crap print. But what I'm checking is to make sure I've got all my colors, and I do. Here's my blues, here are my yellows, the lime greens, and remember that I also didn't use the ICC profile. I just printed through Photoshop, so the colors that you see are not going to be correct. But I've got my black, here's my white and the gray, here's the red. And so you can actually see, I don't think the camera's going to pick this up, but you can just see where the white ink printed right here. And then again, you can just see up here, because these would be where the red would kind of come into effect. So this printed good, one head clean, and my color chart. So I am good to go to start printing today. So here is that color chart, and I printed it. This is for my L1800. I just changed out print heads on it, and so I print one of these every time I take the if I take the print head out, even just to clean it, I go ahead and print one of these and compare it, just so that I always know that there hasn't been any major changes. And this right here shows what your printer, how your printer, I guess you should say, is going to render every single color. Okay? Really and truly, I have tried this with Kingdom DTF ink, which is the ink that I mostly use, and Vibrant Vibes ink is the other one. I can tell you that I have seen zero difference in between the two inks when it comes to the color. I just use the Kingdom DTF color ICC color profile, and I get pretty much the exact same color. If there's a difference, it's so faint that the eye can't see it. Okay, so print one of these, press it to a shirt. I recommend pressing to a light colored shirt so that there's no chance of it changing the color, and that way you always have a good reference. If you're just testing, like I was doing this one, because I changed out the print head. If you're just testing, then of course you don't have to press it to a shirt. This right here I'll probably just throw away, because I've already compared it to my original chart, seen that there's really no major changes, and so I don't need it. So, alright, that's it. That's my morning startup, and a whole lot more that y'all probably weren't intending to listen to. Sorry about that. And as always, if you have any questions, please let me know. You can reach me via email at sassyvinylhtv@gmail.com, or you can reach me via my website at southernsassvinyl.com. And in case you missed that because I talk too fast, here it is. Let me see, and I cannot reduce my screen anymore. There it is. So that's how you can reach me. Thank you guys. And as always, also, if there is some type of a tutorial that you want to see that I haven't covered, please let me know, whether it be for the XP15000, sorry, or the L1800. I will be starting a video series pretty soon on if my conversion ideas work on my L1800. I'll be doing a video series on that, showing what I did to be able to run all the different types of ink and stuff in it. Alright, thanks guys.